It's time for Bull Sessions, brought to you by Willcross Seed, your weekly hour-long excursion into all things agricultural, from farming to livestock, soil to seed, equipment to rural life. Now here's your hosts, Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Good morning, Brad. Bull Sessions is on the air again.
Good morning, Randy.
Isn't that awesome? Mm-hmm. It's awesome. We're still here. Miles still putting up with us. I'm rejoicing.
Well, that is good, Randy. I'm glad you're rejoicing. You know what I'm rejoicing about?
What?
I did not have to ride with you down here because you got business in St. Joe.
I do.
But I did have to follow you. I caught up to you, and for some reason I caught up with you, and I had to follow you.
First time in your life you obeyed the speed limit rules of the road.
I was following the speed limit. I think you were
because
running
you was
five
behind me.
You were running like 5 under.
No, I was not. I always obey the law. I being your name is Brad Law, I don't obey you, but you ought to try it sometime.
Okay. I'll try that on the way home.
Yeah. Try. Yeah, right. I'm sure you're driving. Yeah, right. Okay. Well,
we got some important stuff coming up, Randy.
We do. Let me hear about it.
Did you know that the Nebraska Power Farm Show is December 6th to the 8th?
I did know that.
And that it is free admission.
Free parking.
And it's just up there at Lincoln, Nebraska. So you can get up a little early.
Is the parking free? I can't remember.
I believe so.
I think it is.
If not, I've never had to pay for parking. So
again, we're talking about breaking laws. You wouldn't anyway.
Well, but here's some facts about that farm show. It's the second largest indoor farm show in the Midwest.
That's a big deal.
That is big. There's 2,284 booths.
Really?
Yes, and it covers 9.2 acres of stuff to see.
That's a big show.
You best bring your walking boots.
Well, I have to be absent at that show, but you will be there.
I will be
and
there.
Our salespeople will be there.
And I'm actually going to be there on the 6th. I'm going to be there all day, but from 11:45 to 12:30, I'll be in Seminar Room 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be dishing out some bull on managing resistant weeds in soybean fields.
Good for you.
So if you guys
people can actually probably meet you and see what I have to look at every Saturday morning here.
I will have room in the truck to bring home any sympathy cards that you'd like to send Randy.
You going to wear your red boots?
Probably not. They're not as comfortable as my brown ones or my black ones.
You wearing the bib overalls?
I may have to wear a suit. I don't know yet. I may got to keep everybody
Miles, he had
off.
a suit on last week.
Just to keep everybody out of kilter there.
He looked like Jethro Bodine in Beverly Hills.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah, he did. It was awesome.
Oh, and you know what else we got that's new?
What?
Well, maybe somebody said, well, what did they just talk about or what did they say? Well,
explain that.
I figured out, I did some redneck computer work, and I figured out how to put our bull sessions on YouTube.
You did. I saw that.
So let's say if you wanted to hear like, oh, they said something real important there, I'd really like to catch that. Or, oh, man, I'm out here and I just, wanted some audio going when you're working in the shop and got a computer there or on your phone and say, well, I just want some noise while I'm working on paperwork. I want to see that again. Well, if you Google Willcross Bull Sessions, you can get and pull up our YouTube channel, and you can see all of there's just a picture and our phone number.
All of the shows that we've done segmented out, right?
All 4 segments of each show, and I've listed them out 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. So then they say, oh, I can go back and hear what he said about weeds or fertility or that list of what to do in the grain line. Or, man, I really need to know those excuses to give the DOT so you can go back and pull them up.
Yeah. Now, you said important information. I would like to think we are doing some of that, but my good buddy Boyd Miller out at Helena yesterday called, and he said he's listening every Saturday, but he does question us somewhat. But he has always questioned me, so.
Well, I think that must be you. I wouldn't think anybody would ever.
He'd believe you, wouldn't he?
Yes.
You was telling me this morning you've got another list.
Yes, I've got a new list for this week.
And
it's not too long.
It's titled "Ways to Make Your Farm Great Again." Where have we heard something similar to that.
Well, when you turn on the TV and you see some things and you get inspired.
You do,
It moves people, and it moves a lot of rural people to do something to make their country great again.
You bet, and that happened.
When you want to do that, the first place to start is right in your backyard.
Mm-hmm. And I did hear what that statistics you're saying. They said that rural America showed up at the polls, and that was what made the result what it was. And that is a good thing when people vote, voice their opinion.
I'm going to share some of these policies or, points.
So how are you going to make your farm great again?
I'm going to make my farm great again. Well, they say good fences make good neighbors.
That's true.
Especially when you have cattle, Randy.
That's true.
So maybe a new fence on your southern border is going to help your farm.
What happens down in Mexico? State of Mexico.
Oh, boy. You guys got me again, didn't you?
Yeah.
You pulled another fast one.
It took me a little bit thinking on that one.
Miles, you was so good until you met Bradley, and now you're falling into some of his wicked ways.
Well, that's Toby Keith. Toby Keith's from Oklahoma, and he's had a lot of good patriotic songs.
Is he an Okie from Muskogee?
That'd be Merle Haggard. But gotta like Toby Keith, and I've got another one of these.
Okay.
We talked last week with my friend Brian about installing field tile.
We did.
Right?
Very informative.
So maybe you could install some field tile in a wet spot to get some drainage going.
Sure.
And you could effectively drain that swamp.
That works. We need a lot of swamps drained in this country, don't we?
Well, so if you've got a wet spot, seriously, I've got some spots on my farm that a run of tile would improve them. So take something that you hear on the news and relate it back to your farm and drain that swamp.
Good idea.
Okay. How about you could do some trade negotiations with your neighbor, and you could exchange some work with each other that is fair and equal for everyone.
What would be wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
When everybody wins.
If I could do something for my neighbor, or if my neighbor could do something for me and we could work something out, that is a win-win situation.
It is.
And I like win-win situations.
We need more of that. We need more of that in our government and in our community.
Okay. Now, here's something that really gets under my skin.
Uh-oh.
And you have a nice piece of equipment, and you park it for the winter. And when you get back to get it out next year, there's some issues.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to deport the estimated 2 million mice that are living in my machine shed.
You're going to deport them.
I'm going to deport those mice.
They're deplorables, aren't they?
Oh. But I really don't like mice around equipment.
No,
they eat wires and they destroy things, and we need to think about that of what can we do to keep mice out of our equipment as we're putting it away this fall.
Funny you should mention that, Bradley, because our guest we're going to talk to after a while, we're going to ask him some of those questions.
Okay.
Surely he can tell us. He's a technician with Case IH. He's a dealer for us up in Cook, Nebraska. He's a seed production grower, got quite a bit of irrigated land. I learned a lesson in 2012 in the drought year that all of our eggs was kind of in one basket. So we branched out up there to get some seed under irrigation. So in the event of that happening again, we could still keep the doors open, Bradley, and keep you in a paycheck.
Well, here's something else you can do with that paycheck.
Be careful.
Help yourself to your own tax relief. Forecast your taxes with your CPA prior to the end of the year. Okay? Because then you can see where you're at and what tax level you're at. And maybe you need to buy something, or maybe you should sell something to lower your taxable income.
Yeah.
Another thing, you could make your soil great again, or maybe even greater than it was, by soil testing and applying the needed nutrients to build and balance your soil so the food is there for a bumper crop.
Good.
And
got to go. We got a commercial. we're running along. We'll be right back with more Bull Sessions on 680 KFEQ.